Hello y'all, and welcome to YoungFolk Knits. It's almost that time again, spring. I love it when the weather starts warming up just a little bit, but there's still a little bit of a nice chill in the air. That means we can still have some knitwear and some nice warm clothes, but we just have to get a little bit creative in how we wear them. I know spring can really vary dramatically depending on where you live. I am living in Arkansas, so our springs are all over the place. We do have some really chilly days, but we also have really warm, humid days that start to happen as well. So because of that, I have a wide range of things I've been thinking about for my spring handmade wardrobe. And today I want to chat all about my plans and my inspiration. Hello y'all, and welcome back to YoungFolk Knits. If you're new here, my name is Casey, and on this channel I love to share all about my handmade wardrobe. So it's very knitting heavy, but I also do some sewing, spinning, and whatever else I might be up to at the moment. Sometimes I share about living on a small farm here in Arkansas, where my husband, myself, and our children are beekeepers. We love chickens and gardens and animals and spending time outside here in the foothills of the Ozarks. So if any of that sounds like it might be your cup of tea, make sure and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on any new video content. When it starts getting close to a new season, then all the videos come out about the planning for that new season. And I have a very similar video today, all about spring. I have been enjoying some that I have seen recently, and one I took a lot of inspiration from is Orsa Makes. I absolutely love her channel. She has a very posh British accent, so I could listen to her talk all day. I do believe she lives in Italy though, and you can definitely see a strong European style influence in her clothing and pattern choices, and I really appreciate how she styles her clothes, and also I enjoy seeing what she decides to include in her handmade wardrobe. I will link her video down below. I found it very enjoyable. And on today's video, I am going to be sharing a lot of inspiration that I have gotten from Pinterest. I don't necessarily have as many exact patterns that I know for sure I'm going to be knitting. I definitely have a lot of inspiration and colors and maybe even a mood board type of situation. But my spring planning also includes sewing, not just knitting. I hope that you will find this interesting, and maybe you will find some inspiration for your spring planning as well. Today I am wearing my finished flight suit, which is sewn in some Blackbird linen, as well as the hat for my favorite sports activity, which is knitting. This is a hat I purchased from Deegan, and I will link that and the pattern for my flight suit down below. I'm going to talk more about what I'm wearing later, so I just wanted to quickly cover that before we jump into my inspiration for spring. One thing I definitely noticed about spring is that there's quite a bit of fluctuation in the weather. So there's definitely still days for sweater weather, and then there's definitely days where it's just too warm for all that wool layering. But since it's definitely transitional, I am very happy to still have some sweaters that I'm concentrating on. I recently pulled this whip out, and it is my Celeste sweater, which is a pattern by Petite Knit, and it is a circular yoke color work pattern. And I have finished the body. All I have left is a little bit more of this sleeve. I've done all of my decreases, so I just need to knit until it's a little bit longer, add a cuff, and then I need to, of course, do my other sleeve. But they're pretty quick sleeves, to be honest. Just plain old stockinette feels great, especially after I just recently finished knitting the tessellated cardigan, and that was a test knit, so I felt, you know, a little bit extra pressure on making sure it got knit up in time, and because of that, it added a little bit of stress to the sleeve knitting, and this just feels like an absolute vacation. It feels so nice to knit on. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I think that this is a great transition piece from winter into spring, and one of the reasons is because of the colors. It's a nice light color. I used Double Sunday by Santis Garn in the main color, and then I used a combination of some colors from Double Sunday and some from the Peer Gynt base to create this circular yoke color work portion. I went for a lot of light browns and camel colors, some creams, and light blues. And I feel like that's a great palette for spring. It's very fresh. It looks very clean. It's light and airy. And I think it helps pull off this wool sweater where it doesn't give you, you know, deep winter or fall heavy dark tones. Instead, it's light and fresh, and I think a great way to wear a wool sweater and get a longer use out of it into the season. So I'm gonna hopefully finish this up in the next day or two, and then I will have that to add to some of my spring wardrobe. I'm very excited. So when it comes to planning and inspiration gathering for this coming spring of 2024, I have definitely been utilizing Pinterest. Quite a few things that I'm drawn towards. I am not a fashion specialist. I couldn't really tell you, okay, this year this is in and this is out. I'm not an expert on that. I just wear what I like, I make what I like, and I'm definitely drawn to certain things at certain times of year. And I think part of having a capsule wardrobe is not necessarily riding every style wave. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you do want to make a commitment to having a smaller capsule wardrobe and less consumerism in your wardrobe, you just realistically cannot ride every style wave, and that is okay with me. Personally, I don't really know what every style wave is. That makes it a lot easier. I definitely know what I like though, and I am very grateful to Pinterest for providing endless inspiration, and what it really does too is it helps me to know and recognize what I like and what I don't like. So when I see a picture of an outfit, it's pretty easy for me to be like, okay, I love that. I want to recreate that outfit. Or to also know pretty quickly that is not my style and I will not be wearing that. So I think Pinterest can be really useful. Now there's a few different things that I have really been loving lately, and those things I really want to draw inspiration from and work into my spring wardrobe. So the first thing I've noticed when looking at my Pinterest saves is coming from the color. And specifically, that is a very clean, crisp blue and green color. When I save things to my mood boards for outfits, it's actually not even just pictures of clothes. A lot of times I find inspiration from pictures of rooms and decor and houses and the way people have put colors together with wallpaper and paint and flowers. I get a lot of inspiration from that. Like, okay, I get a feeling when I look at this picture and I want to recreate that in an outfit. A lot of those pictures that come to mind and that I end up saving for spring have a very cottagey style look to them. There's a lot of creams and whites and milky colors, and paired with them is just some very earthy colors that I feel like you would see if you had a spring garden and you looked out at your flowers. So I get a lot of greens and pale blue colors. Those are some of my absolute favorites to go with that creamy milky color. I really get that cornflower blue color, the sagey green, lilac purples, all the things that I see when I look out at my garden in springtime. Another color that goes with that really well is a nutty brown color, usually on the paler side, but really brown all the way across the spectrum seems to tie it all together. So, you know, some cream, some brown, and then, you know, choosing the sagey greens, the blues, the lavenders, all those really fresh florally colors, but in a dusty, muted tone, not a super bright palette. I am an autumn, so whenever I had my colors done, I definitely have specific colors that work better for me and that brighten my complexion and bring out my eyes. And super bright colors aren't really my jam. Now, sometimes there is an occasion where I love it so much I'll add it in as a pop of an accessory. Those aren't the colors I would knit a staple piece out of for a capsule wardrobe for myself. And it's not that I don't love them, I just know that they really don't look the best on me. I don't feel my best in them. So regardless of the trends, I feel like these natural garden girl aesthetic, I don't know if that's a real thing, but I'm gonna call it that. You know, just the garden girl look. You're in your denim, you've got your very earthy colors with a scarf. One of the ways that I would really like to apply that blue color this year is in a knitted dress. So I have been contemplating a knitted dress for a very long time, ever since the Shetland Trader 3 book came out by Gudrun Johnston. There's some exquisite knitted fingering weight Fair Isle pattern dresses in it. Very much a winter time. I guess if you're in a cooler climate, you could probably, you know, make it work for spring. Not for me, but I think they're absolutely amazing. However, realistically, it's not something that I'm in a place to knit right now. However, Sari Nordland, who is, you know, the designer of my dreams, she has a pattern, which is the Winona dress. And I absolutely love that dress. I do have plans to knit one this spring, and I have plans to knit it in a blue color. I think that it's very fresh looking. I think it would look beautiful paired with some brown sandals or some nude color sandals. And I think a great way to style it even is with a linen shirt over the top. One thing I have seen a lot on Pinterest is slip dresses with an oversized menswear shirt, whether it be linen or cotton poplin, but you know, you've stole your boyfriend's shirt type look. And I think that's a great way to add some of that blue in. This pattern is knit with Ticklina, which is a chunky weight yarn, I believe, and it is definitely a summer fabric because it has viscose, cotton, blended into it. There's no wool in it. So it might be a little hard on the hands to knit, but if you can make it through, I think it's gonna create a really fun fabric. I do have that as one of my first plans for spring. So I will keep you updated on the fabric, how it looks, what I think about the Winona dress in the Tiglina. I'd like to say a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video. The Choose app has continued to be my daily dose of cool. I really enjoy getting on each day and seeing what new brands the Choose app has added to its lineup. This month I picked out this really lovely statement ring. I love how it has this beautiful blue flower. I think it goes so well with the golds, and my favorite part is that the ring is adjustable, so I can wear it on any finger, on either hand. There's so many different great categories available on the Choose app as well. I recently picked out some beautiful sandals from Adelissa & Co. for my children. It's one of my very favorite small businesses that I have loved supporting for years and years, and it just absolutely thrilled me to see it on the Choose app. So make sure and check out what they have available. You can follow the link, which is in the description below, and use the code YoungFolkKnits for $20 off your first purchase. Thanks again, Choose app. Another thing that I have found myself saving over and over again, and something that I truly love, are green pants. Now, I have actually a couple of pairs of olive green jeans. I have some full length sort of flare olive green jeans, denim, I guess. And then I have a more cropped, straight, wide leg pair of olive green jeans. Green is my favorite color. I absolutely love it, and I think that it's a great way to pull in that earthy color, because a lot of times I think green on the bottom half of your outfit is a little unexpected. Green shirts, green dresses, all of that are common enough, but to have the olive green jeans is slightly more unexpected, and in a good way. And it still has a very natural, earthy, garden girl aesthetic look to it. This is a staple piece. I don't really see it ever looking really out of place. I think that if you like that earthy, boho, I don't know, if you're watching this, somebody help me with the name of the aesthetic that I'm thinking of here. All that's coming to mind is when I'm just making up, just this garden girl aesthetics. I don't know. I think it would always be appropriate, no matter what year it is. A few different ways that I think would be really nice to style knitwear in with that is some short sleeve tops. I think that a really creamy colored cumulus blouse would look nice and springy with some 3/4 length sleeves. You're gonna have a fun V-neck and French tucking it into some olive colored pants. I think another great option is of a nice neutral brown color. I think that the Darjeeling blouse in a beautiful nutty brown color or a cream color would look so good with some olive colored pants. I would absolutely love that. I hope I can make one at some point. The Darjeeling blouse is a pattern by Trust the Mojo, and it's a sport weight top which comes in sizes extra small through 4XL. I really think that this would be a fun knit. You could pick out some fun buttons. I think that the lacy edging with looks like some picot edging after the lace, I think that would just look so beautiful and springy and weather appropriate for an outfit with pairing it with some of the green colored pants. Another style that I absolutely love for spring is light colored monochrome outfits. I really see a lot of this with very similar colored top and pants, but you know, the same color, just slightly different in hue. And I think that that's really elevated. It has a lovely, sophisticated look to it. It's very effortless looking. And I think that doing it with the light colors gives it a lot of spring-like feel to it. One thing I have pulled back out that I really want to work on is my Moonset pullover. So this is a pattern by Ozetta, knit up in Camellia Fiber Co. Flax DK base. It is 50% alpaca, 25% linen, and 25% silk. It's 270 yards, DK weight, 2-ply. It's just really lovely fabric. So perfect for spring and going into summer. I have joined it in the round, and I just need to finish the body and knit the sleeves. I think the way that I would like to finish this blouse out is to make it a bracelet length or 3/4 length with a bit of a balloon sleeve. So possibly no decreases until I get to the point where I'm ready to end the sleeve. And at that point, I will decrease very rapidly over one row and probably do an I-cord bind off, which is very similar to the ranunculus top. And if you do the longer sleeves, that is an option for the bind off on that top as well. I think that this creamy color would look so good in a monochrome moment with some creamy linen pants. So I recently got some fabric from Blackbird Fabrics on sale. This is their linen noil fabric. It's 75% viscose, 25% linen. I always want to pronounce it noil, and I think it's noil though. I don't know. It's Noil. This is something I've only read. I don't ever hear anybody say it out loud. So somebody that knows, let me know, please. I have 3 meters of this. It's really lovely, and it's a 51-inch width. So I have a lot here. I definitely have enough to make pants with and possibly even a top with. The reason I think I have enough to make a top is because during their remnants sale, I got the exact same fabric in like 2 meters or 1.5 meters, something like that, on a huge discount. And so I think that after I make the pants, I'll have, you know, plenty left over to go along with that 1.5 or 2 meters that I've got, and I can put that together to make a top. So that would be a really fun monochrome sewn outfit. If I did that, the top that I would probably sew is a free pattern, which is from thefabricstore.com, and it is the Augustina boxy top. Now, I have sewn that pattern multiple times. I have made 2 shirts from it, and I have made a dress that I took the pattern and hacked it to crop it, the bodice, and then do a self-drafted skirt with it so that it became a dress, and I love it. So I think I would make that top. And then for the pants, I have quite a few different options. I really like a pattern by Sew House 7. It is called the, what is that called? I'll put the name on the screen because it just left me. I have made this pattern before in some corduroy pants, and for the linen pants, I think I would size down just a little bit. This fabric has some amazing drape. It's very washed and has a lovely feel, has a lovely hand to it, and I really think that this would be a nice little monochrome moment. I really like that. The Moonset pullover does come in a DK weight. Haley from Ozetta also has the Moonset tee available, which is a short sleeve t-shirt pattern that comes in a fingering weight gauge. So I think that's really nice because you can pick which gauge you want, and then if you want it to be short sleeve but you want the DK weight gauge, then you can just modify the pattern to chop your sleeves off a lot sooner. Another spring look I absolutely adore is gingham and red. A pattern I see so often in spring and into summer is gingham fabric. I love gingham fabric. It gives you that picnic style vibe to it. It's very fun and it seems to never go out of style. I think that a great way to use it in a wardrobe piece that won't go out of style is a black gingham. So this is some fabric I got from Black Mountain Yarn Shop, and it is Merchant and Mills linen in the, is it Mrs. Lewis? I'll put it in the description below. I got 3 meters of this, and my plan for it is to make another dress like I had mentioned earlier, where I use the Augustina boxy top free pattern to cut out my bodice and short sleeves, and then I will self-draft a skirt to sew onto it to make a complete dress. It's short sleeve, it's very simple lines, and I think that that's what helps keep it very classic. I think it's great in the spring to throw a cardigan on over it, and in the summer to wear as is. Another great way to liven this up is to add a red accessory to it. So this is Craft Me Not Yarn Company yarn, and it is her Silky Sport base, which is 50% silk and 50% superwash merino, 328 yards. And this is in her Atlas color, which I absolutely adore. And I just think that a red kerchief or small scarf, there's so many small scarves right now, it's just like a beautiful buffet of choices to choose from. I think that that would just absolutely create the most wonderful outfit. A black and stone color. This isn't really white. It's definitely more of a pebble stone color. But, this classic black and white gingham paired with a bright red. But it's that orange leaning red, which is my favorite. And I think that this will just be an absolutely classic outfit that will be something I could reach for years to come. It'd be a great addition to my wardrobe. Another fun way to get the gingham and the red in is to use a red gingham. So Merchant & Mills and Blackbird fabrics have some really great strawberry red colored gingham, and I recently saw Morgan from Shop Knitting Nelly on Instagram. She has made a red gingham dress, and I think it turned out incredibly cute. It definitely gives picnic vibes, and I love it. I think it would be a beautiful spring wardrobe staple, but fun. I think another really nice way to incorporate some spring knitwear into your wardrobe during that change of seasons is with some light fingering weight sweaters. So because you can definitely even knit it at a more open gauge, the fingering weight, the fabric is so much thinner and more breathable, you can really get away with wearing it for a lot longer into the season. A way that I'm going to be doing that, and I'm so excited about, is by knitting the Pojola pullover sweater, which is designed by Sari Nordland, and it has recently been released in English. So I can finally make it. I'm so excited. And Sari and I were talking and we decided to do a knit along. So beginning March 1st, we are going to cast on the Pojola pullover, and the knit along is going to be running through April 30th. So it's about 8 weeks there, and whips are going to be welcome. So if you want to knit it with us, but you want us to go ahead and start now, you feel free. You go ahead. It is a fingering weight gauge. So it's going to take a little bit to knit this sweater, and that's okay. One thing that Sari and I talked about, and that's really important to us, is to acknowledge the fact that what we're doing is slow, handmade making, and it just feels so good to the soul to be able to indulge in this craft. And because of that, it is important to us that it not feel like there's a stressful time constraint on finishing this pullover. So you definitely do not have to finish or complete the sweater by the end of the knit along. It is just a time frame that we're dedicating a lot of our time towards that sweater. I really love the neck way that the collar looks in this sweater. I think it's so beautiful, but it's also not too high up. That definitely helps give it some spring vibes. And I think your color choices can contribute towards that as well. I am so excited because I'm going to be using some yarn from Sonder Yarn Co., which, if you've been here long, you know is one of my absolute favorite yarns in the world. And Melissa, who is the owner of Sonder, she very kindly gifted me the kit to participate in this knit along, but she did allow me to choose my colors. So for my main color, I am going to be using Full English, and this is on a fingering weight base of 75% BFL or Blue Face Leicester and 25% Massam. So it's a really lovely base. It's a nice woolly wool, but that fingering weight thickness makes it so perfect for spring. Now, if you look at the pattern, the top is a different color than the body of the sweater. So this is going to be my color that I'll start off with, and it is Offline. So it's this really lovely heathered oatmeal color, and then I will go into the color work, which is going to utilize all three of these colors. So I've got Offline, Personal Space, which I just think is amazing. It's one of my all-time favorite colors. And Full English. Depending on what size you wear, if you're, I think, I'm trying to remember if I'm making the size 5 or the size 6. I did end up needing 3 of these main colors, but I might be able to get away with just using 2 if I did bracelet length sleeves. And depending on what size you are, you could probably get away with 2 of the main color and then 1 each of your contrast colors. Melissa has set up some really beautiful kits for this sweater, and the colors that she has picked I think are perfect for spring. One of them is a very beautiful lavendery lilac color, and I think that's a great way to take a sweater into spring as well. We would absolutely love it if you would want to knit with us, and I'm going to put a link in the description for the kits. You can use any yarn that you want to for the knit along, but sometimes it's nice to have a kit already put together. So I will link that in the description, and I'm going to be posting more about this on Instagram with the hashtag to use and all the other considerations for the knit along. But I'm very excited about getting started on it. Another great way I have been really seeing a lot lately in how to take your sweaters into spring is by draping them over your shoulders. So when I see this, it definitely gives me coastal vibes as well as varsity look, you know, very retro varsity collegiate style. But I think it's actually a very great way to style your knitwear when it's possibly too hot to wear a full-on sweater. You can still drape it over your shoulders and you're wearing it like a scarf. I think that that's brilliant, and by doing that you can really play with all of the other things I've been chatting about. The color green or creamy monochrome looks, or linen. Put it with dresses. You can put it with button-up menswear shirts. I think that it leaves so much inspiration open there. I think that it can make your outfit look incredibly, effortlessly chic and stylish. You look very put together, but in a way like, oh, I didn't really try. I just threw this over my shoulders and I look amazing. So I'm gonna try to do that more this spring. I think it's gonna be super fun. And last but not least, playing with that monochrome color is jumpsuits. I absolutely adore linen jumpsuits. I recently made the Zadie jumpsuit, and I think it is a spectacular pattern. I will be making more for this spring and summer. It's a pattern that I think I will continue to utilize for the rest of my sewing life. I really love it. I love the fact that it is a wrap construction, so you have so much wiggle room in your sizing both ways just by adjusting how you tie it. I think that the wrap V-neck is a very flattering look for myself and most people, and I think that you can use different fabrics to just get completely different looks. Now, I also highly recommend this pattern, and it is the Blanca Flight Suit by Closet Core Patterns. I think what makes this so much fun is the collar, the full zip up. It has really fun buttons, a tie at the waist, which helps to accentuate the waist, and a zip, which goes through the complete bodice and torso of the pants. It makes it very easy to put these on and off. And I also love these big pockets. The linen makes it very comfortable and flowy, and just an absolute staple. I've seen a lot of people sew this without the sleeves so that it is a sleeveless construction, and I think that that looks really cute too. But one of the reasons I love this so much is that by adding a cardigan, you can wear it for so much more of the year by removing the cardigan and possibly adding in a, probably not this color, but a fun pop from a knitted accessory. I think that it would be great for spring into summer. So jumpsuits, flat suits, rompers, I really love them. Overalls, I think that they're just so much fun. You can't help but have fun when you're wearing one. I highly recommend sewing a jumpsuit yourself this year. All right, I hope that y'all found a little bit of inspiration in today's video. I know that there's so much inspiration, it's almost overwhelming sometimes whenever I get on Pinterest, but these are what really have been speaking to me, and I don't really feel like it's just a this year kind of thing. So I definitely find myself returning to a lot of this, which lets me know that there's no such thing as too much of a good thing. If you enjoy videos like this, then please make sure and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps my channel out so much, and it also ensures you won't miss out on any future content. I also really appreciate your comments, so let me know in the comment section what you are really drawn to for this spring, and maybe we can give each other some ideas. All right, until next time, happy knitting, y'all.